Being 5:30, we'll call the May 22nd, 2023 Air Board of Health meeting to order at 5:31. First item on the agenda is public input. Is there any public that wants to be heard? And the answer is no.
Well, I'm not a direct abutter to with Maxim, but I assume that's on your agenda.
Yeah, and there's not going to be discussion on it this evening. I just want you to know that it's on the agenda because we're waiting for a permit to be filed. And there has been communication regarding filing of the permit. We haven't received it yet, but we are awaiting it. So,
Okay.
and it's going to stay on the agenda until we get the application for the permit.
Okay.
So,
Pretty soon.
yeah,
She has until May 31st, correct?
correct.
Okay.
Then what happens?
That will come up on the agenda if that happens, so.
Who would like to be here then?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, understood.
And I'd be happy to communicate with you in terms of updates as well, if that's something that you'd like.
Send you an email.
If you want to put your name on a piece of paper with a phone number or an email address, you can do that too.
That'd be great, I would.
You guys okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Need a
Put
pen?
everybody on this one?
Yeah, you need a pen?
Oh, yes, I do, I'm sorry.
Unless you get really sharp
We are in
nails.
a butter, we have a sequence.
You have a right.
Yeah.
The only thing that we don't do is we won't talk about someone unless they're invited to be here.
Right.
I have one more question, sorry, Jamie Parak, I'm at 108 Pleasant Street.
Yep.
So, I understand, so we're on the agenda, but you don't necessarily, so if you will communicate with us if for some reason when the agenda
It's-
shows that she is on it and you will discuss it?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So we're past public input. And under old business, I think we just discussed it, but 17 Taft Street, we're awaiting the
Yep.
filing of an application. And there has been at least two calls
Yeah.
communicating back to us that that process is happening, so.
Excellent.
The next item of old business is the Sandy Pond beach testing. And Bridget took samples at the beach and at the outflow of Sandy Pond into Flanagan's, I want to say last week. And those are both being sent out to be analyzed.
Are those, what do you call them? Just the generic kind of tests that you do anyways? They're not the in-depth,
No, this
real
is-
expensive ones?
This is
that-
the expensive
Yes,
one.
the
So
specific.
that's going to set like a baseline, we'll know, and then we will only have to do those expensive, really in-depth tests if
It
something
goes
shows
out
up.
of
Correct.
whack, yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So I told Bridget, I authorized her to go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
And if you would make a motion to approve the expense, I'll second.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I definitely make a motion to approve the expense of the testing for the Sandy Pond Beach.
Okay, I'll second the motion. I think it's going to cost somewhere around $600, but we have,
Do I give that to you?
I'll take it.
thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
coming in.
Thanks for the work you folks do.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
So anyhow, motion's made and seconded to approve the expensive testing for the Sandy Pond water. And I'm trying to think of what exactly it's called, the test. I got salmonella in my mind.
Cyanobacter.
Cyanobacter.
Bacteria test
Yep.
or whatever.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 'tis a vote. The harm reduction, I don't have any update in terms of, there still isn't a vehicle available. And the library did take this up at their board meeting a week ago Thursday night. And I know that there was a presentation done, a brief presentation. They weren't opposed to it, but I don't think they would accept the location unless there's specific information. And right now, we don't have any specifics. So I think right now, the whole thing is kind of like in an abeyance because the vehicle doesn't exist.
I feel so bad because we had this
I know.
fury of like, oh, this, that, and talking about it for so long, and then literally put the cart before the
Yeah,
horse.
and I think we'd be such a good community for it.
Yeah, and I think it's nice that the library is considering it, because we
Yeah, it
haven't
is.
had anybody else. So.
It is.
So with the harm reduction program, I received an email from, bear with me for a second, Sydney, Sydney Adams, and I think I might have forwarded this to you guys if I didn't. She or he had sent me an email about listing, just wanted to follow up on my previous email about listing our Massachusetts Addiction Treatment Resource on the Board of Health webpage.
That name sounds familiar.
So I don't know who Cindy I don't know who she is. I tried looking at the website,
So
and I guess what I'd like to do is, did I forward it to you?
you forwarded it to me, so I'm gonna let you know. Sydney also emailed the ZBA about this and the building department. So they used to do this company, and there's several of them, they used to do it at the library as well. They just send out, oh, you're a government website, you should put this
Okay.
on your resource, and they
Okay.
just blanket everyone.
Okay, I don't know what this Massachusetts, I think if it's a legitimate Massachusetts resource, it would be good to
They're-
post it, but if this is someone that's profiting by advertising,
I'm not
then that's not what our site's for.
I'm not sure if it's profiting, but I received one from Sydney. I received one from like several other people. They're all very similar. I don't know if they're for profit or not, but it's pretty much their own research. It's not necessarily like government funded. Quite often, it's not the area. They quite literally just grab government emails.
But is
and
it relevant to our board, or because you said it went to ZBA and?
I will tell you, I often just delete these because they're just so blanket.
Yeah.
It says our website provides free mental health and substance abuse resource
All right, then it
for
is.
people at any stage of their
Yeah.
recovery journey, including resources, treatment, warning signs, blah, blah, blah. And it's addictions.com/rehab.
Looks like you can click on and it will show you what's available near you.
Do we think it's something that we want to post on our site, or?
I want to take a look at who exactly they are.
Okay, let's
Look at it,
Yeah.
we'll look at it.
Yeah,
So let's-
let's look at it and
put it on the agenda for the next meeting.
All right.
What was that, Sydney, or what's the web?
Sydney.
I think I sent it to you, Trish.
Yeah, I didn't check right before I came. I checked.
But the Sydney Adams, there's no title, no address. I don't know who Sydney Adams is.
She's with,
What's the?
looks like she's the content team with addictions.com. So she's affiliated with the group that runs the website.
Okay.
But I will say I get probably at least 3 a week
Yeah.
from different
Oh.
organizations. So this one could be very much legitimate. I will just tell you, I get them to every email I have all the time of, hey, you own a public website where this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
and they will just write, Dear ZBA.
Yeah. Well,
Got
if this
it.
is a
Yeah.
legitimate resource in Massachusetts, then it would probably be something good to do. But from reading this, I can't determine that.
Yeah, and
so.
that's often.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I don't mind checking it out.
Okay.
Okay. So Bridget had another commitment tonight, so that's why she's not here. And she didn't have anything to bring forward until this afternoon at 3:30. So I mentioned this to Pam before you came in. There was a bat in a house at 12 Grove Street today. And the animal control officer got the bat. but evidently there was pets in the house in the room where the bat was. So the bat it's going to be euthanized and taken for rabies identification. And Julie is handling this, but there was a $260 fee for either the vet or for the state for the determination whether or not the bat is rabid. And they needed to know immediately, so I said yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think right now it would be nice if you made a motion to approve the expense of
I make a motion that,
rabies testing for it.
yes, the Air Board of Health cover the cost of the rabies test on this bat for $260.
Okay, motion's made, I'll second it. No further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. So that happened, like I said, this afternoon.
Of course.
The tobacco violation. There was a violation of selling flavored vape products from the Gulf Station on Park Street. And the Tobacco Control Commission called and they wanted to start an enforcement action immediately. And the question was whether it would be 1 week or 2 weeks. And I mentioned to Sam, if it was a first-time violation, I would think 1 week would be appropriate. If it was a repeat violation, then 2 weeks, I guess, is the maximum that we can do. And I can't absolutely say, but I thought that this had come up before from the same location, like within the year.
Yes.
It did, didn't it?
Did-
Oh, it was the same location?
Second?
Same location. So they received 2 violations, one for the flavored tobacco, one for something else that was fairly minor. But it would result in, we could either do it concurrently, so just 7 days, or back to back for 14 days. And so seeing it was a repeat, 14 days. it
14
is.
days.
So that means 14 days that no sales?
No sales.
Of any tobacco products, and how is that enforced? They get a citation and then
I would
it's
imagine
checked
there's
on?
also a substantial
Yes.
financial penalty. I think it's $2,000.
$1,000 for one of them, and then the other offense is like $200.
Okay,
So that part of it that they will handle.
yep.
But I bring that up because
That's crazy.
I guess if it happens again, then what do we do then?
Yep.
I guess they can appeal this if they wanted to. And I don't know if it comes to us on an appeal, but
There's enforcement stuff in our tobacco control regulation. And then I'm trying to remember if like the state has a separate, like, do they have fines of, other than what the local board of health does?
I can't
'Cause remember in
when
our
Joan-
regulation-
Yeah, in the regulations, and Joan,
So that would be an interesting question is, if they fine them, do we have to do something different or above and beyond that if we want to also fine as the town? And how is that done?
when this came up before, I know we didn't take any additional action because there was 2 violations
Yeah.
that happened. I think there was another place in the town that was cited.
first time both,
Yeah.
but this is second.
This is second time.
So second time should get a fine?
Well, why don't we review the town's regulations? Because they are being fined already. And I don't know if that money comes back to the town or not.
Yes, I
It
will
does come back
receive
to the town?
I received the check, so.
Oh, so,
Okay. So is the fine then, it's against our regulation then?
I believe so.
Okay, got it.
Because one of the minor one, like the $200 one, I believe is one of our regulations, but we're like one of the few places that has it or something. The way she sort of described it of, this one's yours, whereas the $2,000 one is sort of higher up.
Oh, okay. So I think that sounds kind of like what I'm thinking in my head, that there are the fines that fall underneath our regulation, but then I think the state has some
And then,
authority above and beyond that.
so she did call me and I did talk to her and then I talked to Steve and I called her back and There was actually a few others. So the Gulf Station was the big one, but there was a few others with the minor. She was going to email me a list. I did not receive a list yet, but she did start to list them off, and it was more than one location had this violation.
Okay.
So, I think they're on our radar.
Yeah. And I did email her an updated list of the tobacco licenses we issued this year, including the one that was issued last meeting. So
Yeah, things have been pretty quiet since we had the vote on Pam for the vape, that shop. It kind
Yeah.
of stopped right there.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's the tobacco. The next is discussion regarding board officer reorganization. And I've been flattered to be the chairperson for the last year. Thank you. Being retired, I do have time, so this hasn't been a hassle in that respect. And I'm happy to do whatever your wishes are. If one of you is dying to be the chair, go for it.
Steve doesn't want to stand in your way, Drew.
Yeah, I'm not going to arm wrestle you for it.
It's your
if that's
moment.
what you want to do. The problem was, I think last time that we had this issue was my hesitation because not as being well-versed as you are, because you've been on many boards. This was my first time I dove in, and I had no background on regs, any of the laws, all that, so I
Yeah.
felt very inept.
Yeah, I know what you
And I
mean.
did, I think the last time I did sit in the chair, and I was constantly calling Pam, constantly calling.
You did, great.
But it was,
You did a
yeah,
really good
that's
job.
that's the only problem, is I don't have that expertise, I don't have that background, and the understanding that goes along with it, so.
Whatever you guys decide you want to do, I'm fine with. If you wanted to take this up 6 months from now, I would do that. But if you want to change and you want to be the chair, or you want to be the chair, I'm good with that. So
No.
you guys
No, I
decide
feel
what
like
you want to do.
you've had it for a while, and I got it a couple years in a row, but I've had a nice run of. So I probably should do it again. However, would you think about doing it through the summer?
Sure.
Because I think that's kind of, I'm looking at my work schedule
Yep.
lightening up a bit towards the end of the year, and I mean, I'm not retired.
In the summer, we only have one meeting a month.
Yeah, we have to talk
Yeah.
about that tonight too, and we're going to do that. But
Can we table it until like maybe, the September?
September?
And then
Sure.
I'll probably be,
we don't have to do
All
it.
right.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
unless you're desperate.
No, I'm not
I know
not
that feeling.
desperate. I am
Okay.
hoping for the winter to do more of my ski patrol.
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah,
stuff
yeah.
that I
Yeah.
like to do,
Yeah.
and running back and forth from Vermont isn't
Yeah.
really
So you can
something.
stay for a long weekend, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
Yeah, that's fair.
okay. Well, like I said, I've been flattered to be the chairperson
Oh,
for the
you've
last
done a
year.
great
Oh yes, thank you.
Yeah, because you've been there when we can't,
Yeah.
and keeping us
You bring another
informed, yeah,
perspective too.
Yeah.
It's nice.
yeah.
So I
Sure if
think
it's
we've
good or
done-
bad.
Oh,
It is.
I
'cause-
no, it's good.
Yeah.
When we need to talk, we talk, yeah.
Okay. Well, then we'll put it on the agenda for September.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I have not read the minutes yet from May the 8th.
well, I have a couple of things from Bridget.
Okay.
Oh,
She had
She was
some-
up next year.
She had food inspections.
yep.
Oh,
So before we disappear on that, there are there's quite a few from Osawa. They're all from Osawa.
Yep.
So I guess there was a minor issue, but it looks like everything has been cleared up. So
Yep.
that's all I,
Yep.
apparently I have 5 copies.
That's all that I know from Michelle, but she didn't have anything else, so.
that in the bat.
But the minutes, I did not read them. Did you have a chance to read them? Or I know you said there's
I just noticed one
Mary versus.
simple thing, yeah.
And I did update the call log as well.
But the minutes, I thought, looked good. John's La Dip, that always cracks me up every year.
What is it?
John's La Dip.
Oh, yeah.
But, hey, John comes every year.
Okay.
I'm
okay with the minutes if
Yeah.
you want to make a motion to approve them.
I'll make a motion to accept the Air Board of Health minutes from May 8th.
With one minor correction, which was
Just the date on the first page.
Where is that?
Oh, it's on the first page. It says Mary 31st.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just
so we'll just.
a stray letter.
I will,
getting
I will fix it.
All those in favor of the minutes?
aye.
Aye. 'Tis a vote. I don't have a pen anymore, and I'm not asking you
Oh,
for
you
yours.
gave it away.
I just let I'll let her use it. So, by the way, these are great pens. If you ever go to the bank,
Yes,
they
I have a ton of those. So I'm probably in the bottom of my other pocketbook.
You accumulate pens.
Except when you need one. If someone's giving me something over the phone.
Right, yeah,
Whatever.
that is true.
those assignments.
And then there is, I did update the call log. Did your packet not have it?
I didn't have one.
Did you get
No, I
stuck?
didn't see one.
I didn't either.
I'm sorry. They must have got, it got stuck in the photocopier. As it is, since the last meeting, we had a noise complaint about the Bull Run, at which point I said, you need to call Shirley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone left an anonymous voicemail to me that says, I have a complaint, and then upon the return call, there was no response, and nor have they called me back. So,
Okay.
Ruth looking for her 2004 plot plan. Lisa Arigio, she actually submitted a animal permit. She just called looking for some clarification as to exactly what does she need. And then tobacco control called. And that is all that just happened.
Thank you. Any bills?
I have no bills, but I do have animal and fowl permits. And I did receive a letter from mosquito control.
From who? Mosquito control?
Mosquito control.
It's going to be starting up.
Yep, it looks like they're going to be spraying on May 30th, June 5th, 12th, 20th, and 26th.
Can we post that on our?
Already did.
Awesome.
Does that tell, I didn't read I never really read those. I just notice what dates. But does it tell, remember when we were little, it would be like you knew what end of town they were starting at? Do they just go around the whole town all day and get it done in one day or 1 or 2 days?
I think they look at areas,
That are high, like the ponds?
yeah, the ponds
Yeah,
and swamps
probably.
and stuff like that. But when we were kids, they used to spray with, Fort Devens used to spray by plane. You remember that? Oh, yeah. Who knows what they were spraying?
I used to run behind the truck and my mother would go, get in here!
So we did receive, we have 3 animal and fowl permits since the last meeting, which brings us up to 12 total. Last year we had 23 permits issued, so only half have submitted. I will be sending out second notices this week. Please submit those. As it is, we have Rebecca Matthews of 9 Victor Drive. They have 11 chickens and 4 ducks. Brent Ruthier of 11 Harvard Road has 2 goats.
Nice.
And Lisa and John Arigio of 46 Mulberry Circle have 1 pot-bellied pig. This is their first time having a permit, but Julie has been out to see them and told them they needed a permit, and has
Nice.
sees her every year. Apparently, she's very sweet.
Is there a motion to approve the permits as presented?
I make a motion to accept the permits for the keeping of animal and fowls for, where do I read those? Lisa and John Arrigo, 46 Mulberry Circle. Same for Brent Ruthier for 2 goats. Well, the first one is 1 potbelly pig. The second one for Brent Ruthier is 2 goats. And the third one is Rebecca Matthews, 9 Victor Drive, up to 11 chickens and 4 ducks.
I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Tis a vote.
My daughter just got 4 chicks. They're so cute when they're little.
Are they
They're
loud?
really tiny.
They're little tiny peeps, and she's like, I have to keep them in the house. I just realized, because they can't go outside yet.
Yeah,
They can't be in a...
really not.
It's too cold at night.
Yeah.
So she's got a boxed-in area in the back of the kitchen.
Is this the first time she's
Yeah.
had them?
She's always wanted them, but they're way up in Ashburnham at the foot of Mount Watatic.
Oh, nice.
A little worried about...
On 119 or?
Yeah, right on
Yeah,
it. A
things,
little worried about coyotes.
their survival.
Yeah, really got to think of a good coop,
Yeah.
good fencing.
Something nice and
Yeah.
secure.
She's always wanted to do it and get the eggs, so.
Nice.
I love my next door across the street chickens. I love those chickens and their little chicken noises.
We had a neighbor who had a rooster that used to sit in a pine tree, and as soon as the first light in the morning would come up, this rooster let you didn't need an alarm clock, in the summertime.
That would drive me crazy.
It did.
Okay.
Anything else, Sam?
That is all I had.
So the only other item we have is an executive session that I will update you regarding the meeting of the attorneys. A week ago Friday, a week ago Thursday. Friday, because I was on the phone for 2 hours. Yeah. So if we vote to go into executive session, we'll come out of executive session just to adjourn.
Okay.
So is there a motion to enter executive session pursuant to Mass General Law 30A?
I make a motion that we go into executive session pursuant to Mass General Law 30A,
Section,
Section 21A, exemption number 3. Read the whole thing?
Yeah.
To discuss litigation strategy with respect to the case of Mimi's Place LLC versus Board of Health of the Town of Ayer et al., Middlesex Superior Court, CA 2181CV4967. If discussing the matter in open session will have a detrimental effect to the town's litigating position, and the chair so declares.
Chair so declares. I will second the motion, and again, the board will go into executive session to adjourn. At the end of the executive session, we'll adjourn. That's
Okay.
it. There's no
And
other
that'll be the
business
end.
coming before the board.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Peters.
Aye.
Mr. Slarski, aye.